Speak something.
Hi, hello, how are you?
Hi! Hello! How are you? This might be the last video that I'm making from Bombay because because of the coronavirus have already fucked up our lives. Yeah, and fortunately, I'm spending the last 4 days of my Bombay this year in this beautiful hotel, not a hotel, sorry, hostel. Honoke Please, it's in Bandra West, and I really thought of recording something here. So this has a very medieval, ancient sort of a vibe. This was a 150 years old building that they have renovated into a beautiful and massive hostel. So I sort of found it really intriguing. I might come back here when I come back to Bombay, but here is a take of how my hostel life was for 4 days and how I was just taken back about the sheer diversity of the different people who have formed sort of a cultural pot boiler inside this mini hostel. So I won't talk anymore. I'll take you into the video and I'll see you in the next one. How many subscribers do you have on TikTok?
Oh man, let me check. Because I haven't been on there long. So I just jumped on there. But now I'm utilizing it. So followers, I got 3,000. Hi, this is Elitom El-amin, Breatharian. And I'm from Ohio, USA. And I'm here in India right now. And what I'm doing is I'm traveling around the world. And I've been doing this now for the last 3 to 4 years, educating people on the breatharian process or living on prana, as they call it. Some call it living on chi. There's many different names for it. But the definition is, it's the ancient word, it comes from the ancient word anidia, and anidia is the ancient word for fasting. And fasting means to eat very little or none at all. Now listen at that, to eat very little or none at all. Very little means that this is a skill that a person could develop. Instead of eating out of survival or hunger, you can eat for pleasure, or if there's a food you never ate before, and you could go very long periods of time without eating. It's similar to fasting, they're close together, but fasting is the avenue towards it. However, the foundation of this skill is meditation. Because meditation, whether it's visualization, breath work, visualization, all of them work on the same ends. And what they do is, since we're systems of energy held together by thought, you are actually opening up energy channels within your body so you can get a better energy flow. And when you do that, you'll have less hunger or none at all, and you'll become healthier, stronger, more energetic. You can better deal with your emotions, and you have better cognitive thinking skills. See, in this age we in now, this is a great age, because this is an age we have the most medical benefits dealing with the benefits of fasting, doing without food. But at the same time, this is an age too where we have the most diet changes that's out there. There's all types of diet changes. And many people go into the diet changes for many different reasons. To lose weight,
to feel better, to improve their health. But the main thing is, when you deal with the esoteric knowledge, is all diet changes is actually to discipline the mind. Now, what made me come onto this health journey was health problems. When things started going bad in my life, of course, I wanted to make changes. So the first thing I said, I need to do something with my life, because at that time I was like 190 pounds, and I believe that's 83 kilos, 86 kilos. So I was getting really, really big. My pants, I began to put another hole in it for the belt, to put the belt on, and my thighs was rubbing together. I was out of breath, walking up some steps. And back then I was 29 years old, and I said, man, I'm too young to be feeling like this. But everybody in my reality treated me like that's the way it is. And everybody in my reality, guess what, was overweight. But they looked at it as a blessing that you got food, that we're not starving, and there's people in other places starving. But still, I knew this wasn't right, because I really like to help people because I was a minister in a church. But at the same time, how can I help other people if I can't even help myself? And my body was hurting more and more and more. And I thought back then, with the religious thought process, the way to heal myself was to start praying. But it didn't kick in that there was a mind-body connection. I'm putting prayers out there, but nothing's happening, and I'm still eating chicken, wondering why my heart is hurting. So one day, somebody said, well, won't you stop eating meat? Now, I heard about vegetarians and veganism and all that stuff before, but none of them was my friends, so why should we be friends? They weren't on the same frequency I was, and I didn't know no vegans or vegetarians like that, no way to become friends with. But when you're hurt and you're desperate, you want changes to happen right away. So I did just what he said. And guess what? Just like overnight, basically, not to over exaggerate, but my health began to improve just leaving meat alone, doing the best I can. Now, I didn't really know nothing about veganism, and that's when you are also not eating no animal byproducts. So of course it was a process for me. It wasn't overnight. So there was times I still ate the cereal with milk in it, and of course I love things with cheese in it. But the heavier meats, like the most meat that people eat, is what, the pork, the chicken, and cows. That right there, I just diminished it right away and went into the other avenue. But then I grew up working out and stuff, but I never knew the working out and diet connection. Back then we went to the gym working out with the weights, and you eat a whole lot just to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But now I'm learning something new. So I go to the track and I start working out. Now keep in mind I was overweight. Now in my mind I saw myself running all around the track. But when I get there, oh no, I was walking. Oh boy, I got to start all over again because I'm still overweight. But it wasn't long. I stayed dedicated. Every day I went to the track straight after work. I stayed dedicated on watching what I put into my body. And it wasn't long to where I started to jog around the track slowly. I didn't have to walk anymore. My weight began to go down even more. Down to 180, I really felt good. 175, I really felt good. 170 pounds, I really felt good. I started to look good again, could breathe. All this stuff started kicking in. See, the body's like a rubber band. If you stay dedicated and consistent, you'd be surprised how fast it will heal itself. So that was my own self-realization. So now I learned that, and I tell this many times on my little adventure, but then I began to learn more about diet changes. That's what I learned more about live and raw organic foods. I learned more about juicing, and I started learning all this wonderful stuff. But then I started learning about meditation. That was a whole nother world. Now meditation, let's look at that word. In meditation, everybody heard about that word, but what I hear from a lot of people, what is it? What it's supposed to do? And then even when they know people who say they meditate, they say, well, I really don't see no changes in their life. What's the use of doing it? Now, meditation's a loose word, but the age we in now, just like how everything's resurrecting, we're learning more than ever before. And like I said, meditation is the foundation of being on a living on prana process, taking it to another level. Now, because we have energy flow going within us, our brains are sitting in a fluid, and it's also going up and down our spinal cord constantly. Then we got this blood circulation, this hemoglobin. Now, even though you don't feel it taking place as you're sitting there watching this video, there's that blood circulation, there's movement going all through your body. And this is a good thing, that your body is doing things that don't need your mental control. Basically, it's all about getting out of the way. But look at this building, for instance, the structure of it. This is engineering. But do you know your body that you live in, the real house that you live in, is basically have the same concept in mind. You got your skeletal system that what gives us the statue to stand up. But then we got our muscle, and that's the thing about it. And people say, how can you gain muscle if you're eating very little or not at all being on these journeys? But that's a process also to gain muscle, because people who used to follow my message, they see me lose up weight, then they see me go down to a certain level, and then they see the muscle building back again. 1, 2, 3. Consistency. Building up muscle mass. Do you know that your body is sort of like plastic? You can reform it, you can reshape it, but it's all about what you want to do with it. Now, when we was talking earlier about meditation, dealing with our energy channels, and meditation, look how that word is spelled, M-E-D-I, but that's also the word for medical, medicine. Because when you're in a hospital and when a person is sick or they're going through an operation and just got out of it, the first thing the doctors say is go home and get plenty of rest. All meditations, no matter what it is, as soon as you rest and relax the body, the energy flow start taking place, healing start taking place. That's why when you sleep at night, that is unconscious meditation. Your breath slows itself down. You get in a comfortable position. Your brain waves slow themselves down and go into a delta state. And all of this is taking place, so everybody already knows how to meditate. You need to slow yourself down so the body can heal itself. The body is the greatest science and technology that you have access to. It is a wonderful, wonderful machine. And you can master this machine, get to really know yourself and see how you operate. Now, when you deal with the modern day medical profession, they are catching up on a lot of things. It depends what you're looking for. But there is a lot of knowledge out there too that's kind of outdated, even though it hasn't been changed yet. So don't let that fool you. Now, if you come on these levels, do what the doctor said, because every time you go to the doctor's office, it's a numbers game. They're going to give you a number for the blood pressure, a number for your glycerides, your number for your blood sugar. I could go on and on. Your weight, your height, how much you weigh. So you can be the master of that now when you come onto this path. Now, meditation, you do have energy channels in your body. And they use a word in Sanskrit called chakras. And those are just dealing with spinning wheels of light. Now, at first when I used to hear that and look at that, I just say, oh, that's just some beautiful pictures they made, with somebody with the different colors on them. But when I started coming into this and started learning the energy flow of the body, and right now we live in a good age because in science, they say all physical matter is house. It could be a dog, a cat, a tree, have an electromagnetic field to come off of it. And in religion, they used to call that an aura, or in spirituality. So now this all makes sense, and we got equipment now that can show you your electromagnetic field that comes off of your own body. So we have it. And look at that word, electric, magnetism. We all have it. The higher the electricity, because you got electricity going through your body, the higher your magnetism. The higher the magnetism, the higher the electricity. And this is what health is all about. And do you know that this electrical magnetic field on our body changes itself constantly on everything we eat, every thought we have, the clothes we put on our body, the company we keep, the atmosphere that we're in? So you start becoming a master of your life when you start being sensitive and taking control of your electromagnetic field that comes off of your body. Now this is what gets good. The center of your body is your spinal cord, and there's a lot of stuff going on, even your major chakra system or your energy channels. Now, when you start learning how to meditate, they got many chakra meditations and stuff like that out there now. Your endocrine system, what gives off the chemicals in your body, dealing with your pineal gland, your pituitary gland, dealing with your heart chakra center, your solar plexus. These are actually centers where those different glands are located. These glands are related to health, growth, hunger, and all this other stuff. But look how I brought up that word hunger. When you really learn how to meditate and open up those channels through different forms of meditation, that hunger feeling that you're feeling right now, you can overcome that when you don't be hungry. Usually when people come on this path, they usually eat out of boredom and emotions. See, perfect health is time management. And that's what it boils down to at the end of the day. Because when you deal with people's lives, you're picking up the children from school, you're taking them to school, or you got these jobs that, depending on what the hours are, and sometimes it can be depressing on How much time do I put for myself compared to the things I need to meet on keeping my life going? You know, dealing with the bills, the mortgage, the car notes, the businesses you're running or the jobs you're at. And then you got yourself in the way here on where do I put that in? Now, it's easier said than done when we say put yourself first and all these things that come to you when you're dealing with day-to-day life. Here we go now. So earlier you heard me say, like when I started to change my lifestyle, I did my walk straight after work. So perfect health is time management. I had to look at my life and see what times can I use to give myself that time and watch it grow from there. So we're not telling you to take this lifestyle and just put it on yourself all at once because it won't last due to the different stress and stimuli that's taking place on us. And it's easy to overeat to forget about the different stresses and all of this that takes place in day-to-day life. We're being clear. So you want to at least have little victories first. And you might want to start out with having weekends when you pamper yourself. It could start out once a month. Back when I used to teach live and raw foods, have a live and raw food weekend. Just don't say, from here on out, I'm just going to eat live and raw foods. You don't want to do that to yourself. So have these little victories where you really start enjoying yourself, taking these nice little walks and stuff like that, but put it somewhere in your schedule, because one thing about life, change always takes place. So your hours might change at work, or your highest time off, you have a different perspective, but it will feel good working on yourself again. So keep in mind, you're always dealing with this time, and time is not waiting on nobody. Before you know it, there's that old saying that says, one day takes a long time, but a decade is short. Before you know it, 10 years done went past, you'd be like, what did I do? But that's why we teach consistency. Pick that little time that you can work with throughout your day and work from there. And take advantage of that time. And you'd be surprised as time goes, you'd be glad you did. Because like I was telling somebody earlier today, I'm so glad I took this journey for what I did, because there's people I know along the journey who's around in my age group and stuff, you know, dealing in the 50s. And it's sad to say that they're dealing with some type of medication or dealing with some type of medical problem, and a lot of it was preventive, but I had to start somewhere of taking advantage of those little time periods. Some of them is catching a memo and some of them don't, because everybody has their own journey in life. That's why they have another saying that says, everybody you meet in life, treat them nice, because no matter what level they're at, everybody is fighting their greatest battle right now.
All the beautiful ladies will quit then if they make me a model. They'll be like, fuck this shit.
My gosh. Now we gotta figure out what we need. All right, there's very great knowledge in food alchemy on the way you use foods to allow food to be your medicine. Now keep in mind that, have you ever heard the knowledge that if you eat this, it goes to this organ? If you eat this, it goes to this organ. There's great knowledge in that, but very few people find it. That's why herbalism, which is foods, also is just as powerful when you master that. So when you're on a breatharian journey or intermittent fasting and different levels of fasting, to understand the energy of foods and how it goes for your body into the different organs will really help on your energetic health as you heal yourself and you start bringing in more energy, life force energy, or prana, any word you want to use. But this is what it's all about, food alchemy. So when I teach people how to eat before they go into unfooding and not eating at all. So have a nice day. This is Elitom El-amin checking out, and I love you.